We'd like to sincerely thank our Patreon supporters. What's going on, everyone? I am out here with my mom.
Hi.
And I think we have a solution, a temporary solution for putting some shade on these animals so they're not getting so hot. And in one of the previous videos, I showed you some options that I had here on site between the burlap that was in the attic space. It looks like there's 100 foot or so, at least, on that roll. The very thick weed blocker material, which I know lets water through it. Looks like a really thick felt. And this reed fencing, which to me is the most aesthetically pleasing to see. But here's my thought. We're not done building cages, but like I said, I want shade on the animals that are out here already. So I think we need to start putting this shade on as we complete enclosures. It needs to be something as simple as the shelf or whatever else that I'm finishing. It just needs to be done for each animal as we work our way towards the back. I've got materials everywhere because we just unloaded a trailer from the demo work at the other house, and some materials still need to get put back. But trying to find a really good example. But this water was cleaned not yesterday, but 2 days ago, and it is literally bubbling with algae from the full sun and well, relentless sun that is on the water. And how does the animal use that water to cool off? I mean, obviously I can keep flushing it and putting clean water in it, but I'm not here every day to do that. And I think putting shade on the front 3 feet, 4 feet of the enclosure will work. So here we go. In this row, we have a 5-foot enclosure and a 10-foot enclosure, and then one not done. Doesn't even have roof screen. So let's use the burlap, fold it over on itself to create 3 foot of shade, and let's just tack it down with screws and washers as we complete cages. And then when everything is done, we can make a decision if we want. So I see the shade cloth is sold in, gosh, I saw 40% and 60%. 1 second. Mom, watch Pepper. We have a cow skull that we retrieved on the other side of the fence in the field. Pepper, my mom's poodle, was over there licking the cow skull, which still has some bits on it. That should be fun later if she gets sick. So we'll use the burlap temporarily, and then we'll finish up with some shade cloth. I'll order the percentage that we want, if it's 40% or 60%. Obviously 40% is letting a little bit more sunlight through than the 60. And so we can use this as kind of a tester, because I can use the burlap doubled up or not doubled up, and we should be able to figure it out that way. And in the end, when the whole row is done, we can finish our screen for the hallway ceiling and then do a 4 foot by 50 foot and change, because that's a 10-foot board and then 3.5 inches. 10-foot board and 3.5 inches. So it's gonna be a little bit longer. So if I get a 100-foot roll, it's not gonna quite finish 2 hallways or 2 lengths. So I think I might buy a much bigger length, and then we can piece it together, maybe on the chicken coop or something like that. We can piece it together on something else. So that way I can roll it all out. I'll leave the hallways with permanent shade, like somebody suggested. Thank you for that suggestion, I like it. And over the animals, I can roll that back during the winter and give them the full sun when we do want the warmth. At that point, we may put shade sail on the walls to cut down on the cool wind and just let the sun warm them up. But that's something we'll have to figure out when that time comes. But we're gonna get started. I'm gonna show you after the first piece is up and after we finish each row. And I can't wait to maybe film tomorrow and see how much more active these guys are, because they are able to be out longer and regulate their temperatures better. All right, my mom is measuring out to cut the next 26.5, right, Mom?
Yeah.
So she's gonna cut that, and I am going to show you what the first row looks like. I can tell you, as soon as we put the shade on, Lily came straight in. So now, I think this is what you would call 40% shade, I assume. Folded over would be closer to that 60% product. But I think that the difference between standing here and standing in the full sun is significant. Enough to keep their water cooler, the ground cooler, and even have some plants that appreciate more shade happier. Like, I think we'll have to switch these two plants, because that Collusia will like the full sun, and the Thai plant will like partial shade. Actually, I think it's happy either way, but having that filtered sunlight, it may be happier. Now, I mean, literally 2 minutes after putting the shade out. Hey, Lily. What are you doing? She came right out and was into her water. Hey, girl. I know. It's almost feeding day, huh? Is that tomorrow? But she came out and got in her water right away. Don't get excited. I know. See, like I said, her water is warm. So I can't wait to, while we're doing the other row, I think I'm gonna dump out her water and put fresh water in it, and then pay attention to what it does in this afternoon sun. If it stays cool, or if it warms up, and we'll accomplish our goal if it stays cool. That would be amazing. So I'm gonna get started on the next row. All right, we finished the next row with the black throats. You guys can see Blackbeard's laying out. We'll go look at him in a second. And I'm filling Jane's water, and I'm just gonna go ahead and, obviously, while I'm working out here, and again, you see she is test digging everywhere to figure out where she's gonna lay the eggs. She's got a whole mess of tunnels inside of her lay box. Oh, look at this. You guys are gonna like this. Look at this little tree frog. Now, I know insects aren't safe around the blackthroats, but I've never seen them mess with the anoles or the tree frogs. So he's probably pretty safe. So I can turn this on much lower and walk away and let it fill, or full blast it and get him to fill up quickly while I work. Afternoon sun is brutal, so I will get to see if this water is going to heat up in a couple hours time. So I'm going to go ahead and fill all the waters and just pay attention, come through with my heat gun and watch the temperatures and see what happens. All right, guys, filming an ending to this shade cloth video, and it's been, I guess, 3 days since I installed it. Sorry about the view. The waters are staying cleaner. The animals are out more. There's Pinky laying up on that log, which such a, she's gonna lay unfertilized. And if you look how big she is, she wasn't with the male this time along, but it would be great just to see, without that in the equation, just healthy eggs come out. Since we've been getting so many bad eggs from her, we'll just let her go through the process without the male this time. But the new sulfur female is doing good. She ate a big meal, and yeah, I used the heat gun on the waters. It's significantly cooler, and I'd say this burlap is probably less than 40% shade. I may do a 5-foot roll of 60% or 66, I forget the number it is, but Blackbeard is kind of cool, eating a large rabbit right now. He's having fun with it. He's like trotting around his enclosure with this thing. He loves those occasional big meals. Gives him something to do, but it's a lot more enjoyable for them. And what I think I'm gonna do in the water monitor row is push through and try and finish all the roofing and strips and get the hallway sealed up and get the permanent shade cloth up, because doing 6 foot of burlap every time I do an enclosure is going to be a pain. I can perform some of the work with some shade relief. So finishing this hallway is not going to be just beneficial to the animals, but I've been heat stroke hot out here working, and if I could get some relief for myself, I think it's one of the smartest things I can do. And you know, the roof is only 35% done. So we still have all of this roof to finish on that row. And I'd say this row is about 50% done. So if I could just knock out the rest of the 2x4s and the supports, get the screen up there and order the correct material, I could get some proper shade on this hallway. And I think it would be good relief for all of us. But I think that's all for this video. All right, guys, until next time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. See you soon.